This is where the fun begins.
Announcement for my channel, O.G.Starwars. Channel members have a chance to win a copy of Son of Kifu starting now in November through January just by coming on and supporting live streams. Your name will be entered to win a copy of this wonderful painting. So I encourage you, channel members, to come and support, as this is a way of giving back to you. If you are not a channel member, then what are you waiting for? Our last channel member, Miss Martin Muses, is the one who won Mistress of Rat Attack. Congratulations. And I shall chat with you guys later. See you in the live streams. Have a good day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel, O.G.Starwars, and this month's Talking E.U. with my guest, one and only Abu Nas. How are you?
AKA the Darth Plagueis fanboy. That's right. I am doing very, very well, Laura. Thank you so very much for inviting me to your channel once again. It has been a while. And of course, when you ask me, what favorite character would I like to talk about? I mean, it's obvious. I'm the Darth Plagueis. Wait a minute. I'm the Darth Plagueis fanboy over here.
He doesn't know which way to point. Look at him. He's like, what direction am I?
Exactly. And I haven't talked about the Dark Lord of the Sith for a little while now, but he always stays in the back of my head because, first and foremost, he's a George Lucas creation, with no help from phony baloney Filoni and no help from nobody else. He created that character alone. So, and of course, Darth Plagueis had the dubious reputation of being featured in Revenge of the Sith,
Yes. And we'll get into that as we go along here. So I do have, because I know that you have played KOTOR or, KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic and stuff. I'm not exactly the game expert, and Stig, my co-host, is. And so I like to bring him in so that he can, maybe quiz you on stuff like that, or, further.
Knights of the Old Republic, yeah, I played that game backwards and forwards way back in the day.
Yes,
I played part 2, but I wasn't too fuzzy on the ending. Somebody explained it to me, but I was like, blah, blah, blah. But other than that, the entire game, the Knights of the Old Republic 2 was solid. Was absolutely solid.
You know what, Abu?
Hello.
If you get the Knights of the Old Republic 2 on GOG or Steam, you can install the restored content that the developers from KOTOR 2 restored the stuff that was cut, so you get a proper ending and an extra planet.
No,
it really makes the game better.
Yeah, unfortunately, I ain't got that type of time anymore. I mean, I still possess both Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, the physical copies. It's in a box somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, I still possess it because I played it on Xbox. Yeah, I actually bought the Xbox to play Halo. But once the first Knights of the Old Republic came out, it totally just captured me. Yeah. And just the fact that it was pretty much a mystery for I think the first 2/3 of the game. And you just go through the little story beats and stuff like that with Revan and Malik, and they're trying to, but you made the character. So when I made the character, I made her a sexy black woman, so that was right, because in the novel or the story beats, he's canonically male, but we didn't know that at the time when we made our hero. So I just said, all right, I'm gonna make a sexy black woman, because I was thinking it was gonna be a Jedi. To find out that my sexy black woman was no one other than Darth Revan. And I kind of like, that's kind of hot. So I went full dark side. Full dark side with that.
So I'm going to go ahead and start just bringing it in the chat here and seeing who's all here with us here. And we'll get more into this. So let's not just jump ahead and move along. I know how exciting it is to chat and talk about Star Wars when we're all together. Yeah. So I know how that, especially EU content that we grew up and loved, you know. So we have Miss Martin Muse is here. Hello.
Laura, you're echoing.
I hear that. What the friggin'? All right, hello.
No, I got the echo cancel. Wait a minute. Let me.
Hello.
Let
Okay,
me make sure.
I'm not echoing anymore. So Ancient One, woot, Miss Martin Muses, hello. And Stig, I just wanted to say hello and how are you doing before I move on with the chat?
Oh, doing quite well. Doing quite well. Like I said behind the scenes, I have a potato chips. Well, I'm out of chocolate now though. But potato chips and soda.
Nice.
I'm drinking iced tea right here.
I was enjoying some coffee, and this is my mug. I should just use this all the time. Insert eye roll here.
Oh my God, that's classic you.
Basically, you would have rolling eyes in the coffee. That's some Indiana Jones stuff right there.
Not really. This is what the mug says, not what's inside the mug. All right. So we have Keely Chow here. How are you doing? I am so glad you are with us as well. And then Open Airlock Policy. Hello, Tim. How are you doing? And then GB Luke. And I did a Talking EU interview with Luke, and he is phenomenal to talk with when it comes to Star Wars. I highly recommend, you know, to chat with him, you know, and of course, I'm sure he's knowledgeable in other things. He does like Ghostbusters as well, as you could tell, GB Ghostbusters. Hello.
You know what? GB Luke knows way more EU than I do, because I've forgotten a lot of it because I read it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But GB Luki is, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, wow.
He's got a mug of mine. You guys, I don't advertise my merch like at all. I should be doing that. But I do have merch. I do. And it's the wonderful image I made of me as Jaina Solo. And it says Legends Gal on there, O.G.Starwars Legends Gal with the beautiful purple lightsaber. So you guys, that's merch available. I keep them for to advertise it. So thank you so much. There you go.
You know what? You could sell O.G.Starwars jugs too, because then people can drink milk from your jugs on camera.
Sign me up.
There we go. You never cease to do that.
Sign me up. I'll get the extra large, please.
I bought 2 of them.
2 of them, huh? And then
O.G.Starwars jugs. Don't do that.
And then let's see here. We have Jedi Doug in the house. Evening, everyone. Hello. And then I do have a couple people modding, and Ancient One as well as Miss Martin Uses. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Let's see here. And then, of course, Legend of the Brave Bard by C.T. James. Mad love, guys. And thank you so much. And then Jamajanai, what's up? And I've been trying to nail down a time schedule with him, and I just I didn't give up. I just didn't finish seeing when I can get him booked in for Talking EU. So my fellow pimp here. Let's see here. And who else do we have? Soul Assassin. Hello, hello. How are you doing? And man, you guys are just
Soul Assassin. Plagueis did nothing wrong. He damn sure didn't. Well, then again, no, he actually did though.
And then this is a kind of a private joke going on, fishy thing going on right here.
Open airlock, salute.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I was about to say I don't get the fish thing, but you know what? I'm not even gonna press it.
Yeah. And
You're
then
not even on the coast, let's say, you know.
And then Arb Hall here. Hail to the chat, to the wrench, and our wonderful host. Thank you so much, you guys. And let's see here. Did I miss anybody else? I hope not. If I did, I apologize. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put my banner up. Again, if you weren't here when we opened up this stream here, if you are a channel member, every time you attend a live stream, your name will be put into it for a chance to win a copy of my painting. And this time it's Son of Kifu. And here he is right there.
Oh, wow.
That's not even done. It's not done yet.
It's not done yet? Wow, it looks great.
No, it's not done yet.
Oh,
and yeah, so
Hey,
there's
Abu, did you know how that guy kills people?
the what?
Did you know how Quinlan kills people?
Yeah, I know he was taking certain people out.
He gives them a vasectomy.
You know, you're terrible. You're
I
terrible,
know.
Stig. You and Terminus. Y'all, yeah, I mean, y'all should get together with these puns.
And I forget I have these little clips here. Let me go ahead and see.
You rebel scum.
Oh, that never gets tired. Rebel, you rebels.
All right, so everybody, so we have the one and only Abu Nas here for Talking E.U. And like I tell everybody that I interview, this is about you and your experiences with the Star Wars EU in general. So don't be afraid. Everybody's knowledge is different. And so don't be embarrassed. Don't, it's fine, with your knowledge and stuff, because it is your own experience that we are listening to. So Abu Nas, what got you into Star Wars?
Well, my very first, how should we say, viewing of Star Wars, started back in '77 when I was supposed to go to the movies to see Star Wars, but unfortunately I broke my leg and I couldn't go. Mm-hmm. So I missed that experience until I saw it on television, just before The Empire Strikes Back came out. Mm-hmm. And it was great, but I couldn't understand, a lot of the stuff that was going on. But it captured my attention. It wasn't until The Empire Strikes Back that is where it started completely, because I was familiar with Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, but for whatever reason, at the age I was, I still couldn't put two and two together what was going on. But I loved the action, I loved the lightsabers, I loved the space battles, and that was, was pretty much it. But when The Empire Strikes Back came out, it literally blew me away, way beyond I could ever even imagine, to the point where when the movie was over, and I sat pretty close to the big screen, so at 9 years old, you would think that was something that, something that big would just tear your senses apart through the music, through the special effects, through the acting, through the lightsaber fight, which had my heart pumping, between Luke and Darth Vader. And when it was over, I literally had to hold on to the rails because I was so blown away that my knees were shaking.
You got weak in the knees.
Weak in the knees. Yeah, exactly. I got weak in the knees. And I was sitting up there like, wow, that's a new sensation. But it happened. I never forgot that. And from there, the love affair started in earnest. So I had to get any and everything Star Wars related. In fact, I for a Christmas present, and I still got to find the picture, but I had for Christmas an Obi-Wan Kenobi doll. And I don't know who took the picture of me like opening it and looking at it at the box. But it, like I said, even then, Star Wars was in my household.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my first foray.
Awesome. And then not one more, you're going to have for this like an interview anyway. So with the OT, what was your favorite movie and why? And then after that, what was your favorite character? Who was your favorite character? So go ahead and elaborate.
Wait. Repeat that. Repeat the question again.
All right. So your favorite movie in the original trilogy and your favorite character and why? Okay.
The Empire Strikes Back. And my favorite character was Luke. was Luke. He had to go through the training. He had to go through, the hard knock life, the steps in order to become a Jedi. And unfortunately, because he loved his friends to such a degree that had these visions, he wanted to go help them. And I actually felt that,
Yeah.
He was supposed to, work and learn the knowledge, but his friends was in need, and he went to their rescue. Even though Yoda said, hey, young man, you need to slow your roll. Even Obi-Wan said, yo, bro, you're not ready for it. But he did it anyway because his friends was dying and he needed to help them. And I felt that because I feel like if I was in trouble, Luke Skywalker would come to my rescue. So he was it.
Okay.
Even though Boba Fett was badass. He ain't saying no, but he just chilled.
Those characters that are very mysterious are the ones that are the most intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He didn't even have a lot of lines, but he was iconic because he, stood right next to Lando Calrissian. The Han Solo just getting my torture, and Lando they looked at each other like, not my problem.
Right. And if he can have a good stature against and talk with Vader the way he did and stuff, he's a badass character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Stig, do you want to ask him anything about the OT?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your favorite scene in the old trilogy?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Favorite scene. Damn. All right. So let me just make it, because I'm going through the entire trilogy. Like, how do I pick? Right. How do I pick? That's an actually hard question. All right.
We're waiting for
gun in my
reply,
head,
sir.
All right, gun in my head.
Move along.
The space battle on Endor.
Oh, okay.
Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, that's my favorite scene.
Okay. All right. And then I have a $2 super chat by Damajanai. And so Abu Nas, go ahead and read that.
Damajanai with the $2 super chat, because obviously Damajanai knows everything about me. So Abu DC melody, la 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 la. Well, I'm not gonna sing it because I need to get ramped up, but everybody knows it. So that's me and Alora's theme song.
I guess, it's hilarious. You guys make me laugh. All right. And so now moving on, what is your favorite PT movie, favorite character from that, and why?
I know this, but I'm not going to say. I'm not going to let him. But I have some Abu Nas trivia.
Well, obviously, the reason why I'm here, the Opera House scene in Revenge of the Sith is hands down the greatest scene in all of the 6 movies.
Okay.
Bar none. George Lucas is a genius. He directed it. He wrote that script. It was such a subtle masterpiece in how he allowed the scene to breathe and talk about the history. See, we already had the books. We already had the novels. We already had a lot of other stuff that we had over the years between the comic books, the movies, the books, and stuff and so forth. But the mythology of Star Wars was never really mentioned on film until Revenge of the Sith. He talked about a Sith Lord named Darth Plagueis, somebody that had powers and somebody had abilities, and he was strong in the Force, and he literally gave credence to everything that was published in the comics and the novels and stuff like that, talking about all the histories between the Jedi and the Sith and the Republic, and even with Knights of the Old Republic, all of that had validity when Palpatine told that story to Anakin. And it just opened the floodgates of everything, because now he is talking about history. And that's what I absolutely love, and I still can't get enough of it.
Okay. All right. And so the Smart Muse is on point. Ian McDermott was amazing in that scene.
Oh, beyond amazing. Even Hayden Christensen, he was holding his own too, He held
Hayden Christensen wasn't bad in episode 3. The only bad scene he had was the one with Padme in the bedroom.
Oh, stop it. Oh, stop it.
That was the lines.
Listen. George Lucas is not going to be writing X-ray material. Girl, come on. We married now. Nah, he ain't going to do all of that.
Sting's like, I wish he did.
Is where he knows his sensitivities is. I mean, it can be a little ropey, but it's not like unlike some of the things you see in the 1940s and stuff. That's where things are. Yeah. So I get it. Yeah, it could be a little bit. Oh, well, maybe I wouldn't have wrote it like that, but it's his story. Let him use the words that makes him feel good about telling his own story. That's why I can breeze past all of that.
Oh yeah, me too. But I can understand why they had trouble delivering the lines.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he could have, ramped it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Hoping this.
Padme should have gotten.
Come here.
Padme should have.
You got to give it some oomph. You can say the same lines. You just have to deliver it in a certain way. So, I said, if he had another chance, I know Hayden Christensen would have gave it some oomph.
I want an edited piece of video from that one where Padme is given the line, "Your thoughts dwell on your mother." Because you can easily move lines around like that and make it really dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, so Miss Smart Muse, I'm going to go ahead and flip away from this one now, and go this way. Miss Smart Muse, I'm in the bedroom. That's the best scene, and you are definitely correct. That was a nice one right there. I mean, very visual, as I could say, and she probably agrees.
Right. Kudos to George Lucas. He said, "You know what? I'm gonna give the ladies some eye candy."
Right. With plenty of eye candy with all the female characters that Disney Lucasfilm said there never was. Right. But we're not going there. We're not here to discuss that. Okay. So, what was the EU material that got you hooked? So what was the exactly EU material, whether it's games, books, or whatever? What got you hooked into the EU?
My very first book. Well, I wasn't so much into the EU because I really, like I said, the books and stuff was, in terms of the line was foreign to me. But as a little boy, my very first EU book was Han Solo's Revenge by Brian Daley.
Okay.
My mother brought that book for me. And I just love the cover of just seeing Chewbacca and Han Solo there.
Yeah.
Right. Orangey in a sense. But and a lot of the words I couldn't even really pronounce. But if I was good at anything, in school, I was good at reading. I sucked at everything else, but I was good at reading. So my mother always encouraged me to just keep reading. So she bought the book. Just before she met that whack-ass bastard that became my stepfather. And we moved to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, because he was in the Army. So I cherished that book because I read it cover to cover, but it took me, like my imagination was just running wild because I was literally reading it and just playing it through my head, what Han Solo would be doing with Harrison Ford's face and Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca, and Lando Calrissian as Billy D. Williams in my head as I was reading it, so that was almost like an extension of the movies. And that book alone got me through some of the worst memories in my childhood. And It was just a retreat, to just be in that fantasy world without having to deal with the reality of what I was dealing with,
Yeah, and I'm really surprised that your first book was the Brian Daley novel.
Yeah. I'm still trying to get it. Steve had graciously.
I'm going to send it to you because I have two. And I remember you saying that was a special book for you. So I'm like,
it is.
You should have it.
Is. Because holding that book brings me right back to the joy that, I felt when my mother bought that book and gave it to me,
Actually, I can
around. Yeah.
It was I can probably send it to you next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just DM me your address.
Yeah, I will do that.
Stream or something.
And I thank you again. Like I said, certain things are a trigger for me, and I need to have certain things around me to continuously remind me of certain parts of my life. And
Yeah.
that book is one of them. So
yeah, it's like a marker. It's like a memory marker.
Yes,
Right.
that's exactly what that is.
Yeah, I have stuff like that too.
Yeah, I think
I mean, I'll see an old video, old video game box, right, and it'll just take me right back to when I got that game back in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
and I can even remember what the weather was like.
Yeah,
and stuff. It's just boom.
Yeah, exactly. And here you go, you guys, us EU people, we support each other no matter what level of our knowledge and stuff. We help, we support each other and all that. So there you go. And so I love this brotherhood, sisterhood that we have going on here. So Abu Nas, who is your favorite EU character and why? We kind of know already, but go ahead and elaborate a little bit more.
Well, I have a few, but of course, Darth Plagueis is number one.
Okay.
Just to switch it up a bit, you know, my second favorite character is Exar Kun.
Okay. You like the Sith boys, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I do. I mean, Ludo Krish and Makarachnos and Freedom Nod and all the old school cats, that was really running things. Junta Paul. I need to learn more about his life and how he and the others that left the Jedi Temple, became Junta Paul was the very first Sith Lord.
Hey, you know what? Next summer, you know those Star Wars omnibus, comics that Laura and I have been going through on the coffee chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are releasing one with the Tales of the Jedi comics in it.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I need to get my hands on that. Unfortunately, I haven't really collected the comic books like I should have in terms of the Star Wars books.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I just happen to pass through a comic book store or whatever, and I see, like the collections that they have, and I just happen to look at it, and I always keep telling myself that I need to buy this so I can read it, because I get most of my knowledge through everything else, like through the internet,
Yeah.
But Exar Kun was kind of a standout. Even more so when Kevin J. Anderson wrote, the Jedi Academy trilogy, which I got all 3 books, and I absolutely love it. Mm-hmm. So I went through his history, even though I read some of it in the comic books, but I haven't read it all. But once I got his whole history online, and then I was going back to the books, it was just amazing how these authors even connects, certain things with the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that because that shows continuity in George Lucas's proper canon. They go back and they do their research,
right.
and they follow the pattern, which was brilliant. So Exar Kun was, a brilliant student that kind of like felt like he had to prove himself. And when he did, he was lauded as a hero and this, that, whatever, but he wanted more. He wanted more. And his Jedi Master, Voodoo Bosiska, I can't even pronounce it.
Vodabas.
Yes. He tried to tell him, hey, look, my man, you the man, but gotta slow things up, man. You gotta, don't hunger for it all. Just go with the flow. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. And he's doing great things, but now he has that hunger. I want to learn this. I want to learn that. And pretty soon he went overboard. And I like those types of characters, that basically, is good. They teeter-totter, but if he going full dark, then he's going to be the badass that he is. So, unfortunately, he got stopped by Luke Skywalker and the students, but I was always interested in these types of characters. Now, Darth Plagueis, that's on another level. The man is the master of, your boy Anakin's Darth Sidious, the man that just took over the galaxy, on the sneak tip. But a lot of it came from Darth Plagueis himself. He's the one that architected this whole thing. Right. And even though Palpatine will tell you, I actually, led you. You didn't lead me. He was lying. Because he played his part and according to what Darth Plagueis gave him. He just took advantage of certain things that Darth Plagueis unfortunately started slipping. And look, when you're on top, you gotta be on point.
Right.
Was on point all the way up until that very end. It was like, damn.
Yeah, and we'll get into more of that as we move along here. And so we can probably safely say Plagueis is your number one Sith.
My number one guy.
The number one guy. So with that being said, you're going to get your first quiz question here. So all right, so I'm going to go ahead and put you in solo layout just for this. And hello to Lady Toriel. Always a pleasure to see you, darling. And she is one of my channel members. So again, channel members who are coming in today to support this interview with Abu Nas and Talking E.U, your name's going to be entered to possibly win a copy of the painting there. And I have quads going by because I live on a res. Right, so that loud noise is what's going on here.
Oh, so God. Laura always showing off her quads.
Yes, I'm showing off the quads. All right. What planet is Plagueis' home world?
Oh shit. I don't know.
Wait a minute. All right, hold on.
Are you trying to search it up right there? Are you looking at your phone?
No. It'll come to me. You said, wait a minute. The home world where he was born.
Right.
I know this because it was in Avengers. No, not Camino. What am I? That's the clones. Magneto. Okay.
Woo! There you go. I was going to tell you. There you go. You broke a sweat already.
No, the only reason because I should know it because Magneto was mentioned in Revenge of the Sith. It was one of the planets.
He was thinking so hard he almost croaked.
Oh God!
He's like, okay.
Stop it, Alora! For God's sake!
I didn't know there was somebody knocking on my door. Hold on a second. I'll be right.
Well, did you see what 19K Fox was saying? Like he's like, good luck, Stig. I mean not Stig, Abu Nas. Oh my God. And now he disappears.
I did not know the answer to that question. I didn't know.
You didn't know either?
Someone was knocking on Abu's door, so he excused himself.
Somebody's knocking on my door.
Probably the doctor.
Yeah, he's checking on his life alert went off.
Yep.
Poor Abu Nas.
We had an alert 5 minutes, 2 minutes ago.
And then Jedi Doug. I am actually doing research into Darth, Revan, Bane, Nihilus, Malgus, among others. I want to do a fan film surrounding around them eventually. That sounds very interesting. Sometimes these fan films are really, really, really good.
Yeah. And you know what? Even if they're lacking in some departments, they tend to have a lot of heart.
Right.
Which is what Star Wars is about, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then GB Luke, he's saying hello. And then we have Michael Mayoski. Hey, everybody. And thank you for dropping in. And again, my membership is open for if you want to join, and there's wonderful perks like winning copies of my painting and on-chat review mine. That's what he is. He's not from the planet homeworld, not from the original homeworld. So it's Magneto. And
let's adopted.
Right. Let's see here. And then we have Moza here. Welcome. And hello, how are you doing? Rhino not right in the head.
He absolutely isn't.
I don't know what's going on here now.
Raging Rhino, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying too. And then, hey, hello. And then Lady Toriel says, Laura, don't give Abu a heart attack. He didn't quite make it past that first quiz. I'm kind of scared about the next ones. Hopefully he doesn't lose himself after these next few. And while we're waiting here, we do have for literature review, we are going over right now reading, and we will go over Deceit. So I am looking forward to that. And I hope you guys are too. And again, like I said, I'll be announcing the live stream here soon. Is that you, Steve? Or
that's me.
Okay. All right. What are you doing, sir?
Well, my neighbor had some stuff for me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't around for a while, so she was getting worried. But my Ninja Blast finally came in.
Oh, nice.
From my brother Fatal J, and Drunk 3PO. My shirt came in as well.
No.
Rebellion, yeah. So.
Well, there you guys go. He's got some packages. That's awesome. And GB Luke says Abu's scanning through the book for the quiz.
No, I wish I would do something like that. No, that see, y'all caught me out there with the place he was born, and I'm sitting up here like, what? I wasn't expecting that. But I knew it because it was, like I said, it was mentioned in Revenge of the Sith. So that's how come I would always retain it. But you caught me off guard so bad, it was like I had a brain freeze for a second. That is not fun. Definitely not
fun.
I
could actually make him get quiet with quizzes. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Everybody in the audience, you already know this woman is my weakness. I cannot, and I repeat, I cannot be put in time out when I know I can answer certain questions. I just, need a little bit too
I could put you in time out. I just did it. I just almost gave you a heart attack too. So the power is strong in me. The force is strong in this one. All right, so let's move on here. What is your favorite Star Wars era? So do PT, OT, the Dark Times, which is the Rebellion or the Empire era, the New Republic, Legacy era, New Jedi Order era, the Old Republic. So those are
Old Republic. Old Republic. I'm a person that loves history, and to make me appreciate all the characters and all the storylines and stuff from each of the novels. That, like I said, George Lucas is a genius. Whatever he approves, he knows these people are doing their research to connect the dots. That's why whenever you see a Star Wars book and they give you, the timelines to each of their novels and stories and stuff, that means these people are doing their homework like they should. I'm looking at you, Disney fake Lucasfilm. That's what you're supposed to do. Responsible people that knows that these things connect, that builds a monumental history, 25,000 years. So the Old Republic has become my favorite because it just brings the whole Jedi and Sith and all the philosophies behind it and how these things connect, in terms of forming the Republic. And dare I say, they have a lot more interesting stories, to chew on and to mess around with, especially where the Sith is concerned. So
I have a little trivia about the online game.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Yes,
is now the only EU product that's still ongoing.
Oh, Star Wars: The Old Republic. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still playing that game. I played that game. I'm actually one of the first people that played the game when it first came out in December 2011. And I made my character a Jedi counselor. And I will say this, and I've not been wrong yet. Their story, their class stories, and everything in terms of how they learn the Force, the philosophies behind it, their abilities and stuff, it is way better than the 3 garbage movies that we got ever since the Disney sale. You can you could take that to the bank. More better written. Engulfs you into the story and your character development. Can't beat that. And it's 10 years old. Star Wars: The Old Republic is 10 years old now, and not a hint of anything sequel trilogy related from Disney. Not a one. They don't have Scarif. They don't, even though Scarif is my planet, because Rogue One is my joint. But they don't have.
We're done with this interview now. I think we're done with this interview now.
See, here we go. I was getting ready to say they didn't say nothing about no Star Killer base or anything. Nope, they kept it 100%.
Okay, are we done here now? Okay, we're done here now. He's talking nonsense.
Okay. I know what the dirty word is. So I can't say the dirty word on
Hey,
this.
Abu, did you when you played the first Old Republic game, did you catch the reference to New Jedi Order in it?
I did not.
It's one of Canderous' stories. If you talk to him,
Oh, you mean Knights of the Old Republic? You were saying Star Wars
yeah.
the Old
Oh,
Republic.
yes.
I'm thinking about the video game.
Yeah.
The MMORPG game on PC.
Yeah. That he actually tells a story about he's seen a Yuzon Wong ship.
You know, it's been so long. Did he actually tell that story in the game?
Yeah, in the game.
That's why I couldn't remember.
And then you have Jolie Bindo telling you stories about Nomi Sunriders. And
yes, that one I remembered. One I remembered.
It literally, the Old Republic game is almost like a little hub.
Yeah,
because it ties into all kinds of other products because it's being mentioned.
But the Old Republic, MMORPG game, like I said, they use the author of the Darth Bane novels and Knights of the Old Republic because they fashioned the entire game based off of that. So in terms of the fighting styles and this and the way that the graphics was, it reminded you of Knights of the Old Republic. That's how come a lot of people gravitated towards that game.
And it was speaking of people with a high gravity, and Matt Wilkins is in the chat.
Yes, there he is. Stig, I should have detected your foul stench before I entered the chat.
Well, we got puns everywhere tonight.
They have ongoing banter, and it's quite funny.
Nice. So, I'm just now listening at the chat. Total's Hardcore Media. I play a little bit at SWTOR. Yeah, I still play SWTOR even to this day. I'm getting ready to purchase the Legacy of the Sith. That's their newest expansion. It's coming out I think December. I think they said before Jan. Yeah, so probably at the end of December. But I'm ready. I got all my characters up to speed. I got my Sith Inquisitor. I got my Sith Warrior. I got my Bounty Hunter. I'm still working on my Imperial Agent, which Star Wars is just so massive. It can keep you literally enthralled for the rest of your days. So you don't even need Disney fake Lucasfilm. Really
and so Assassin, I think Stig already told Abu Nas about the updates or something like that. I guess you guys were talking about that.
I mean, it's the expansion pack or whatever it is. That's new EU content.
Yeah.
And it's ongoing.
Star Wars Republic Commandos. Remember that on Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was smashing.
Right. That's all Karen Travis stuff right there. That they were playing.
And fun fact:
leave it to a woman to make the best goddamn Star Wars content. I love it. I freaking love it because I couldn't get enough of it.
The main characters from that game shows up in the early seasons of the Clone Wars because the Clone Wars was actually following the EU to begin with.
Right.
Yeah, you have a scene with them returning from a mission.
Yeah.
Seb and what's the name of them? Seb. So something like that. There were 3 or 4 of them, right?
Yeah, and Matt Wilkins says, well said, Abu. There's plenty of expanded universe to continue to keep you engaged for years, if not decades. And that's what we talked about even on Spacing on Open Airlock's channel as well. And we talked about that this last Saturday, was it Saturday or last Friday, excuse me. So, and that's the truth here. So, no matter which way you're on, if you're on the fence about Star Wars and you like both lore, or if you're on George Lucas era, with the EU, all that, or if you're on Disney or whatever, you have stuff still to read and stuff. However, we as EU people may not be getting about anything more, but the content is so vast that you can go back and reread again, and it'll keep you entertained and stuff like that for a very, very, very long time. And so that's something that I will always cherish. Yeah, I am a bit sad that we probably will never, ever get anything else anymore. But I'm happy that what we got. And Soul Assassin says, my cousin lost my commando game, and he's crying. I'm so sorry.
Oh man, Soul Assassin. That's sport for war. War.
You know what?
That should always be in your possession. Always in your bedroom. Under your favorite movies, it should be right there, ready to be picked up.
Right.
You know
right.
what though? That Republic Commando game.
Scorch was my dude. Scorch was the one that had all the. What Scorch was the one with the jokes? I know Boss be always trying to like, listen, man, calm down, get back on the mission. He just had lots of little jokes, and I loved it. But some of the missions were so hard. But the music, even the music in the video game, just took you to that place far, far away. It was pretty much like an orchestral soundtrack that really gets you into that Star Wars mood. Absolutely brilliant.
Right. All right. Steve, what was you gonna say?
If you're playing the Republic Commando game, which I did for the first time last year, actually, it had actually, just I beat it for the first time last year.
Oh, okay.
I bought it on GOG, and I thought it had aged very well, and the graphics are still great. But if you put a chip into those clone troopers, that story makes no sense whatsoever.
Hold on a second. I wanna show you guys something.
Okay, I also have a question for you, because we're keeping this moving.
Okay.
What is your favorite Darth Plagueis scene and why? So this could be particularly from the novel, because we really don't see him on screen. So so what is your favorite moment, I guess you could say? So
my favorite moment, there's a lot of favorite moments.
Yeah, so now this is the hardest question. This is another hard question for you because I just can't make it easy on you.
Oh, you're just making me freaking work for this. Okay. Because it could be any one of them, but I'm just picking this one. His training of Palpatine.
Okay.
The beginning training.
Yeah. Let's hear it. Okay, and why?
And why? Because this is where Palpatine, even though when he was conferred into the Sith, he didn't know the first thing about the Force other than the fact that he felt something when he killed his parents. And how Plagueis just threw him right into the fire right away. Right. And when we know Palpatine, we know that he's all powerful. He had Vader under his sway. He brought in Count Dooku, Force lightning. He was in command of the entire galaxy. Everybody bowed to him. He was pretty much the man. But to see him in his infancy stage, where a true master is conferring Sith knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that traces all the way back to Darth Bane and even beforehand. Yeah. Giving him what he needs in order to break the shackles of what was holding him back. And damn, oh gosh, women, I need to see this. God damn. He said because he said it so good in terms of how he wanted Palpatine to feel like, what is the thing that you love the most, so I can deny it to you.
Oh yes, that scene. That is amazing right there. The
way he did it to him, because he kind of figured, I'm getting my lessons. Oh, cool. Just like, yeah, well, all right. Well, this is how it's going to go. He even told him, what did he tell him? Oh shit. He said, in this pitiless place, your power is forged. He said, I can feel your remove and sense your increasing power. He continued to appraise Sidious while the snow whirled about them. I can't have your will tempered by feeling of regret or passion or compassion. You were brought into being to lead. Therefore, you must see every living thing as nothing more than a tool to elevate you, to move you to your destiny. All of that, he basically followed that shit to the letter.
Right. He even used Anakin as a tool.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything was a tool for him to get the way he had to be. That's why him having an apprentice, I don't even know how Count Dooku didn't catch on that you was just being a tool, just off the cuff. but those were the lessons that Darth Plagueis gave to him at the beginning.
Right.
That was so powerful. It will make, when you reading it, you feel like you're being taught by a master. And that whole chapter of his training, that was the absolute best.
Okay, so let's go on now. What did you think when Plagueis found out about Anakin? His realization that the Force created Anakin after he was manipulating the Force.
Oh,
remember that scene where he was like in shock? So what do you think?
That was in the Phantom Menace. Another reason why Darth Plagueis the novel is a fucking masterpiece. Excuse my language. It is.
Well, it was also the beginning. The very first realization about Anakin was in the novel. Yeah, Sidious knew, once, or who Anakin was, and was, astonished by it. But in the novel, do you remember when Darth Plagueis found out about Anakin?
It was on. No, that's when he went to see him. He heard of him, but when he finally saw him on the platform, because he was supposed to see Anakin when they first got to Naboo, and
no, I'm talking about Plagueis himself, not Sidious. When Sidious first found out about Anakin being made by the Force and how scared he was, and that was in the novelization.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah. And in Darth Plagueis, it went a little further, but the realization didn't really hit him until he saw him in person. He snuck on. Darth Plagueis snuck on to remember the scene where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan was arguing about the boy's too dangerous, and he said, listen, the council will decide Anakin's fate. That'll be enough for you, get on board. They're going back to Naboo. So Plagueis was there. Yeah. And he saw Anakin. And that's when the fear hit him. Because remember, Darth Tenebrous at the very beginning took away his powers of foresight. So he couldn't even foresee the end right in front of him. But Darth Tenebrous saw it, even though he was dead. But he knew that his apprentice was going to get killed in his sleep, and everything was going to go to shit. And
it's all going to hell.
But the fact that he looked at him after he tried his best, and trust me, he spent 20 years trying to put the thing together. I am going to conquer death. I am going to manipulate the midichlorians to do my bidding. I'm not going to create nothing new. I'm going to control what's there and make it my own. The Force wasn't having that.
No, the Force was not having that. And so we're going to go on here. What did you think about Plagueis being an outcast in his family?
Oh, all of this is on Darth Tenebrous. You got to remember, he planned this thing from the beginning.
Did you know that he trained his father?
Car Damas, of course, which was so crazy because he was trying to get some advancement, and needed some help. And, Darth Tenebrous, a.k.a. Rugus Nom, he was already wealthy and everything else. So, I'm going to help you a little bit. But he had a little disciple that was a moon. And he figured, hey, maybe because Darth Tenebrous does things scientifically, on every level. He pretty much like did the 2 and 2 plus 4. This is how it's going to be. That was his whole thing as a Biff. So he figured, let's let that young lady and Carl get together, and if they have a son, get married, I'm gonna take that son and I'm gonna train him in the dark side of the Force. So when I'm ready to die, because I know it's coming, I'm gonna transfer my essence into him, and I'm gonna rule through him. That was his plan, and everything was going to plan mighty great. Hey, this is my son, Hego. Oh, Hego Damas II. Cute name. I'm gonna take him. All right, you and your wife, y'all have a good life, and I'm gonna help you out and get you, where you need to go. And that's what happened. Now his father became the chairman of the banking clan. The mother, she disappeared without a trace. But Darth Plagueis, he kept moving on. But when he found out, how he even found out about, damn, y'all planned this thing from the beginning of my life. that you made me into what I am, and this was all a plan. That's when he knew that I'm not in control of my life, but I'm going to have some control of it. And that's exactly what happened. That's why it was so easy for Plagueis to just say, "Oh, the rocks just hit you, Master. I'm sorry. I wish I could help." But Tenebris was like, "Boy, stop bullshitting. I know you want to be the Sith Master, but look, here you go. Here's your papers. Congratulations. You just graduated, son. But let me tell you something. You gonna have a hard road ahead of you. So don't mess up and keep the dream alive." And he
you know what though, which is even more profound, really, is and they were going to expand on this too before the buyout, but it actually goes all the way back to Bane, to Darth Bane, because he started the rule of two, and he was kind of setting all this that comes into fruition in Plagueis. And actually, if you stretch it a little further back, it goes back to Revan, because Bane was using Revan's teachings early on.
Right, the holocrons.
So you have one line slowly getting, I guess, thicker and thicker.
And well, the irony of it is that Darth Revan showed Bane what the rule of two is that makes sense to keep the infighting and to keep things in line the way it's supposed to be. But the problem is that even though you can go by the rule of two, you still have the dichotomy of training your eventual killer, you know, and that alone is a psychological. It could be a psychological tool. It could be a psychological hamstring, or it could be a psychological how should we say, release, you know, to make yourself your own. But that's always going to be the problem with Darth Plagueis. Everything was mapped out in a way in which it was going to benefit Darth Tenebris, and that's not what the rule of two is for. Even Darth Bane was going to break the rule of two because he was trying to do the essence transfer to Darth Xana so he could rule through her, but that didn't work. But he was breaking his own rule because
you know the brilliance about it,
because nobody wants to die at the hands of their apprentice and just, you know, have this thing move on. But Darth Bane still did the damn thing, and his rule of two survived throughout the centuries, up until where Darth Plagueis now says, "You plant this whole thing out to try to come into my body and rule through me. So you just threw the rule of two out a window. So why should I adhere to it?" And that's exactly what he did. He said, "I'm not adhering to that bullshit no more. I'm gonna make sure my reign is indefinite." But his thing was he didn't want Palpatine to feel like I'm just training you for you to kill me, and I already know the shit is coming, so I'm not gonna prevent that. No, he said, "Look, we're gonna do this thing together." And he was actually, and he even shocked himself that he formed a bond with Darth Sidious. Unfortunately, Darth Sidious held the teachings to the letter. He said, "I'm going to learn what I need to learn. And then one day, you know what? Plagueis has outlived his usefulness." But he did. He just didn't teach Palpatine the real secrets on how to create life.
Well, the thing is that he was still learning and it didn't go through. And in fact, we're going to get into another question, but I'm just going to point out
I have a thing to add, though.
Okay, go ahead.
What the Sith actually have is, with the rule of two, they already have, in a sense, eternal life, because when they get killed, it's because the apprentice have learned all they can from the master, which means the legacy will always live on through the apprentice and then through the next one.
Yep.
But it's unfortunate that you don't know these things in terms of knowing that the Sith legacy is always living on. But when you live the lives of these Sith Lords, everything about them is that I need to learn. Why am I not learning faster? And the master is like, "I'm trying to give you really what you need in practical knowledge, but I ain't trying to push it all in you, because then you're going to try to get slick." and it's not going to happen. So
yeah, they're only going to give their apprentice as much as they feel at the time, and that's the thing here. And so we're going to start getting into the rule of two. I have a question with that, but I'm also going to point out something that's very, very interesting here. So we know that Disney Lucasfilm has basically been retconning the rule of two, so it's not even as recognizable as it is in the original lore.
It's gone.
Yeah. And then so what I'm getting at is that in their lore now, Plagueis likes essence transfer, whereas in the original lore, Plagueis frowned upon essence transfer and thought it was BS. So we see the way they're going, because the only reason why they're doing that is because then we have Palpatine, transferring himself into a clone. And so there's some retcons there. Mind you, I compare and contrast people, so that's what I do.
Right.
Whether you like it or not, that's your own business. But I'm just sharing with you guys the retcons that was established through George himself that they're doing. And so with the rule of two, what do you think about the retcon of the rule of two? Since this is basically, you like that storyline, you like the Sith that have been brought up in that lineage.
Hey, you know how I feel about Disney. It just seems like they're so creatively bankrupt. They can't, they can't do anything without pulling from the EU to give them a head start on what they want to put together. And it just always falls flat because you can't, take a piece of something from the EU without really having the whole thing in order to give you a complete story, especially when you're picking out characters from the EU that a lot of us know, but the new people don't know. So now you got to try to fill it in for the new cats, which you're pissing off the old people, old cats like us that know where this thing came from. So no, I am not on board with anything Disney does in terms of any of these characters that was here that was before the sale. So anything they talk about in what is this, some dryad or whatever that they said Plagueis was supposed to be learning or trying to teach Palpatine about the dyads or whatever. Some old nonsense. I don't even go into it. I just knew that was a Disney product, and I'm like, nope.
Right. You're like, yeah. And then so I know that you're very well versed, especially in the Sith history and stuff. So you did read the Darth Vader trilogy or no?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. So with that, what was your favorite moment or favorite scene, or what has captivated you with that trilogy?
Well, to be fair, when I first read the first book, I knew it was from the guy that did Knights of the Old Republic. So I was hoping that he would, throw a little bit of Knights of the Old Republic flavor in there, and he kind of did. Bane, I love the way that he took Bane. He took him from a strong, strapping man that had issues with his dad and was brought into the Sith to become a warrior, and he was good at his job, but he was special in terms of his skills. And somebody, from the Sith Academy in Korriban spotted him and like, yo, I don't know, I sense something in you, man. You got some skills here. I think maybe you should be an acolyte. Learn the Force, do something better. You know what I'm saying? Raise up in the ranks. And he said, why not? As long as I'm working, I'm getting money, that. But he loved his men and the people that he worked with as one of the Gloom Walkers. So by the time he finally started discovering the Force on his own, he wanted to learn every part of it. Problem was, so was the other students. The problem was, I don't know about this new kid on the block. We may have to slow his roll a little bit. And that's what it was all about. Everybody climbing up the ladder. That was one of the reasons by the time Bane found Darth Revan's holocron and knew that there should only be two, no more, no less, it finally dawned on him. My favorite scene with Bane throughout the entire trilogy was when he did go to the Valley of the Dark Lords. Because for me, favorite scenes are based on seminal moments. And and the action, like I said, the action beats they stand on its own, by itself. But when he sat there, he went to every Dark Lord tomb, Mark Arachnos, this one, that one, trying to get some knowledge, but he really didn't get what he wanted until he found Revan's holocron. And because now my mind went right back to Knights of the Old Republic, the video game, the black woman.
That's the beautiful
woman
thing.
who was my Darth Revan.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing with the original Star Wars era, George Lucas era, is that continuity mattered. They recognized that to us fans, continuity mattered. So they were building a complete history of it. And yes, it made everything canon to the movies. And that's the beautiful thing about this, is that no matter what, even George has never said that the EU was never canon, right? He helped to build. In fact, was it Tom Veitch that he met with to help build the Sith lore or something like that, Stig? Isn't that right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. So he got with Tom and they created the Sith, the rule of two, the Sith, and all of that together. And so there's a little history about that. So, if the EU was never canon, why would he have even put the effort in to sit with these authors?
But the rule of two didn't even come about until after the Phantom Menace novel by Terry Brooks. He was the one. Like I said, I met Terry Brooks during the signing, and I asked him about how did you come up with Darth Vader and everything else. He said, "I'm George." That's his creation.
And then Bane, he also helped, with George. George also helped him with Bane and stuff too. So
that's the thing. He said that was all George. He wanted that type of person to have just them two, and he's created the rule of two. He just didn't come up with the name, and he just suggested to him, "How about Darth Bane?" And he said, "Yeah, fine."
You know what? I have a Terry Brooks's. It's almost like his writing memoir. He's talking about how he writes and full of writing tips and stuff, and his writing career. And he has a whole chapter devoted to the Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace book, and how he worked with George and stuff. And what he says in that book is exactly what you just said.
Yeah. Like I said, I got an autographed copy of the Phantom Menace. Everything. I sat with him for about maybe 20, 25 minutes, and he was a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He's awesome. He was at the World Trade Center. He was at the World Trade Center before it went down. So we was there. We were just chit-chatting and stuff. And I said, I really love this book. And I love how you made it look like it was the movies. And he said, it was all George. He made it very easy for him to write the way and the style that he wanted to write. I was like, wow. I mean, the maker knows talent. As long as you following his blueprint, he gives you whatever leeway you want to do to make it your own. And I love that.
As long as he approves it, there's a lot of novels, not a lot, but there was plenty of novels that were canceled because George didn't like the direction they were going. Okay, Stig, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's a reason, I believe, why George picked Terry Brooks. Terry Brooks hit the scene in 1977 with his first book, which was a bestseller, big time. And Terry Brooks's Shannara series, in fantasy, this is probably the closest you'll get to Star Wars,
right?
Because it's about each book skips time kind of bit.
Yes.
There's like 50 years or something between book 1 and 2, and what the father did or whatever have you affects the next generation, and stuff gets carried through the bloodline. And it's basically Star Wars in fantasy form, the early books anyway.
You know what? Everybody was influenced by Star Wars, from writers to directors to people that grew up to be writers and directors. This thing has an influence on every single person on all walks of life. And you think that Rian Johnson is the man that's supposed to, you know what I'm saying, carry the torch? Oh, Mark Hamill is consistent with his blah blah blah. Really?
Yeah, but the thing was with Terry Brooks though is he wasn't, because he basically wrote that story when George was writing Star Wars.
Yeah.
So they did the same thing, which makes for a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Because Terry Brooks already knew what George was getting at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and vice versa. They had a really good working relationship. I wish Brooks had written more Star Wars books, to be honest, because he nailed it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go on to another quiz. You might get this one. You might get this one because I think you might have answered or mentioned the name already. Who was Plagueis' father? What was his name?
Car Damask.
All right, and so who was Plagueis named after?
His grandfather, Hego Damask.
There we go. There we go. So now, see,
I don't know this.
Yeah.
Abu is destroying me at Plagueis trivia with ease.
With ease, except for that first one.
No,
he kind
that
of
first one had me shaking in my boots, like I'm gonna embarrass myself on this channel. What am I doing?
Sure enough, you did.
Yeah, you need to you need to add to it, Laura. Just go, we're waiting, and stuff like that.
Oh shoot! Don't make
his coffee.
Sorry. The audience is expecting an answer, sir.
Yeah, you need to hurry up. The audience is waiting on you. They've been anticipating this like for hours. All right, Soul Assassin says, I keep saying it, but book series following the rule of two order would be epic. Zana to Plagueis. So what do you think about Zana?
Zana?
Yeah, Zana. Yeah.
I'll never forget the end of the second book, the rule of two.
Mm-hmm.
No, the what was it? No, the end of the second book, rule of two.
Yes.
That she had a chance to actually off him, and they had a conversation at the very end, and I think he was I can't remember. I think Darth Bane was hiding out because he was the Jedi. I know the Jedi because they was hunting for him, and Xana just looked at him because she was holding him, I think. And she said, not yet. I need to learn everything I need to learn from you. That's why you're alive.
Right.
I said, ooh, that's the type of woman I want to marry.
You might be married too long.
Usefulness is done. I was like, holy shoot. She was no joke. But she had more skills in certain areas. And even Darth Bane knew it. But even Darth Bane knew from his learnings from the masters at the Sith Temple in the Sith Academy in Korriban that listen, not every Sith going to have the same abilities. There's going to be certain others that's going to excel in certain things, and alchemy and magic, more or less, that's Darth Xana's thing, And you got to understand that's where she's going to excel at. So be ready. And even Darth Bane knew at the very third book, I'm doing all right. I'm collecting stuff, and I'm trying to keep the Shadow Network going. He got that thing started, and like I said, Darth Tenebrous and Darth Plagueis was doing the same thing. They was making connections with banking clans, gangsters, this one, that one, and that's how you make the network to suit your purposes. And that's what Darth Bane was doing back in the day. So Darth Xana was just like a tool for him in some ways. But in some ways, he really admired, the way she came up because he caught her when she was a child back in the first book. So, yeah.
So I'm going to go into a little bit more. And I like what Renee says. He would die happy in that marriage. Yes, he would. So talking about like that era, and before we go forward into the timeline in Star Wars, we had Bane who trapped all the Sith and Jedi in the thought bomb in the Valley of the Jedi there. And then fast forward all the way to like the OT era, we meet Kyle Katarn, and he's the one that basically ends up releasing everybody and stuff. And so this is where I find everything confusing with your fascination with Rogue One, because we have that connection. And yes, I'm doing
busted so badly.
We have this connection with the lore that was so well done from all the way back to 3,000 some odd years, all the way to like 0 ABY on forward, where we have a phenomenal character and they put together the history, and his father's the one that gave him the information about the Valley Jedi, where he frees everyone from the thought bomb, right? And they get to go off into the ethers and what have you. Right. And so this, like I said, this is where I'm like, yeah, I understand you like Rogue One, but the true valuable lore is basically when it goes into Kyle Katarn, and Dark Forces and all of that. history. So were you familiar with that?
I am somewhat familiar, but not as familiar as you are. I was just like, woo, Rogue One, this is a great movie. Yes, finally, we got something good. Yeah, that's what I was saying. But when you put the two together, here we go. This is Allura. Rip off Jan, rip off. She was Asian. the real plans came from there, and I was sitting up here like, wait a minute, didn't John Knoll and everybody wrote that? They mean they ripped it? Because in my head, I was sitting up there like, I thought it was original. They ripped it off from the EU. Then I had to soften my stance a little bit. It's like, okay, well the EU is still rah rah rah, but then it was like,
you know what? They actually.
I said to myself, I'm like, well, Rogue One is still good. I can't stop loving it.
You know, I like messing with you on this, and I love what Stig said. He's like, "Oh, busted."
Yeah. I was busted. Yeah. What was I gonna do? I mean, I could watch the Vader scene like 100 million times and be like, "That's that Star Wars flavor I was missing." Yeah,
you know what?
So that's the
would have made it better?
Star Wars that we even got from Disney.
What's up, Stig?
You know what would have made it better though? If the Vader scene didn't happen on the ship, if it happened on the ground in that base, and you'd have the Rogue One crew getting slaughtered by Vader, and then a show off between Donnie Yen and Vader.
Better. You're right.
And you would have avoided the plot hole of Vader seeing the plans being carried.
Right.
Because
that's
in episode 4, he thinks they've been beamed aboard the ship.
Right. So that was a continuity mistake right there. Yeah. But, which is understandable. I get it. Yeah. But I ain't gonna lie. That Vader scene in the help me! Oh God, he's coming to kill me!
That's genuinely the keys. I need freaking.
Yeah, but seriously though, Donnie Yen,
like a key in front of you, like here you go, baby. Here you go. You want some more of that?
Donnie Yen though versus Vader, that would have been awesome.
Allura, you're hanging out with me way too much because you're just really picking up my mannerisms now.
Hey, I'm gonna teach you like that because you just set yourself up so friggin' easy, easy. And so GB Luke is like this interview's over again. Okay, Stig, what was you gonna say? Sorry.
No, I just said, Donnie Yen versus Vader though. That would have been so awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Donnie Yen in the movie.
I agree, Stig. If they could have done a completely different approach and still give people Vader, maybe on what is it called, the wannabe Valley of the Jedi. What's that planet called? Where they
Jeddah.
Jeddah,
yeah, that wannabe place that's supposed to be like the Valley of the Jedi. I guess
you know what they also should have done?
What's that?
They should have just. They shouldn't have called her Jyn Erso. They should have just kept the name Jan Ors.
Yeah.
Because they actually did whitewash Jan Ors.
Mm-hmm, they
did.
Yeah, she's an Asian.
Yeah. Not a problem.
And this was right after they accused people of not liking Asians.
Yeah.
And then they whitewashed one themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you could have just had the real Jyn Erso in the books. Portray themselves in the movie without trying to act like you made a completely new story to fool the people.
I mean, they looked at the artwork from Dark Forces because Jyn Erso is just dressed as Jan Ors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they literally looked at her. And I'm like, Asian on page. Why not use that Asian?
Yeah.
In front of you.
I was into the representation and everything, inclusivity.
So people love Jan Ors.
Had a win there, but
Jan Ors was awesome. I've never heard anyone say they don't like that character. Jan
In
Ors,
fact, I got to do my cosplay for her for my stream because I still owe that.
Jan Ors and Kal Katarn universally loved.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And there's a reason why we didn't get more of them because they kind of take the backseat big time in the EU novels.
Yeah.
They never really show up much. It's because they were going to do sequels to the Jedi Knight games with Kal Katarn, but they kept getting canceled. Mm-hmm. So the EU writers couldn't use them because there was going to be like a canon story in video game form.
Yeah.
But then that never happened again. So they were just stuck in the back seat in development hell, really.
Yeah, which means we would get the game and then the novels to the games to make it canon, right? That's
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
the thing about video games is, if they have more than one ending, the good ending was always the canon one.
Mhm.
And which is why when you read Revan, you can tell that they're going by the good ending in KOTOR, the first game.
Right.
And the gameplay, though, was never canon. It was just the main events and the cutscenes that were canon, right? Because they were set in stone. And then if they did a novelization, the novelization was the canon version, not the... Because, Kal Katarn didn't carry 12 weapons.
Right.
I mean, he's great, but he's not a... You just can't carry a bazooka and a couple of machine guns and all kinds of blasters. And then
speaking of video games, Laura, share this.
Okay, I'll be nice.
This is my Jedi counselor, Jedi master, the Anakin, kicking ass and taking names. Check this out. Sexiness at its best.
You got to share.
Why is it not coming on? It's
I don't think she's a master.
There we go. Look at my baby.
Hello there.
Double-bladed lightsaber. One to the head. Now, this is the Jedi and the Sith at war. Now, this is supposed to be a PvP match. For whatever reason, I guess either my computer sucks in terms of the... but you get the idea. Because I don't think this thing is going to go... Yeah. Fighting between Jedi and Sith. And the locales in the video was going to be shown in terms of the planets and stuff, and Coruscant and all of that. But you get the idea. That is Star Wars: The Old Republic, ladies and gentlemen. You can make your own Jedi, you can make your own Sith, you can make your own Imperial officer. You can even be a rebel hero if you wanted to.
Right.
Han Solo. You can make your own smuggler. Han Solo.
Yeah. And then we'll go with this a little bit of history here. So because George Lucas liked the EU and he did get into comics, a lot of comics and stuff, he liked them because we already know that he loves Darth Talon. Who doesn't like Darth Talon when it comes to
Secura? You put Ayla Secura into the movies?
Yeah. He got the idea for the double-bladed lightsaber from Exar Kun.
Yep.
And so there you go.
That was an EU product. That was an EU product. So nobody should never say that George doesn't know, his EU, lore, because
you know what else
that created these things, run these things through George to get his input, to get the blessing. And you don't think nothing will come through that man's desk when it comes to his property? Come on. Even if he didn't have to be there, he probably seen it on a screen. He probably got telephone calls. These people know where the buck stops. And that's the problem with us with Disney fake Lucasfilm. You got 1 billion and one executives and sucker for love chumps running around without one man's vision running the show.
Right.
And look what you got there. So
what was you going to say?
You know what else is EU?
What's that?
Mandalorians.
Right.
Oh, of course.
They never say Mandalorians in the movies, ergo it's EU.
Nope.
And Coruscant too, because Coruscant was EU before it was in the prequels.
And he used it for the Phantom Menace. I mean, even though it was canon,
the whole prequel trilogy, the world building comes from the EU, and people don't understand that. And so meeting people who bash anti-EU people saying George didn't like it, he never used it, he never read it, whatever
he only used it.
Yeah,
that's
the prequel trilogy was the EU was used to world build the prequel trilogy.
Coruscant is the actual thing that he used from the EU to put in the movies.
So, and there's a couple of other things too that are big in the Phantom Menace. Pod racing on Malastare. Qui-Gon says it. That's from the old Droids cartoon, but it's called speed racing on Malastare. And they also mentioned the moons of Iago. That's from the Droids cartoons.
Yeah.
And you see a Prince. Yeah,
back in the day.
Yeah. And you see Prince Zizor from Shadows of the Empire. He's at the pod race.
That was a great story.
Yeah.
Great
story.
Shadows
the
of
EU is
the
everywhere
Empire, right?
in the prequels.
Yeah. That was such a great story. That should have been made into a movie, if anything.
It almost did. It almost made it to an animated movie because they had the Shadows of the Empire was it was a book, a soundtrack, a video game, and a comic, and the only thing that was missing was a movie, and George almost made it or had it made.
Yeah, but, he probably he really liked it, and if he was going to make it into a movie or some sort, yeah.
And it ties into Return of the Jedi perfectly.
Correct.
Correct.
So we had a transformation going on in chat while we were discussing EU. So Lady Toriel is now Darth Toriel the Elf, and she now says, "I have the power." So now we have a true Sith, hungry for power. I love you so much, darling. I love that you're playing along with this, and I just wanted to announce that because I thought that was fun. I was watching that as we were discussing this.
Now I could see her with a double-bladed red lightsaber, like Maul.
Yeah. So now we have a perfect segue coming into the OT era and the New Republic era. So I know who you admire for your first hero in Star Wars, and that's Luke Skywalker. So tell us a little bit about that before we move on to what I want to move on to.
Some things are not even that complicated when you talk about your favorite hero. Somebody that does good things, that have people around them, admire and like to be around with, and you always want to surround yourselves with good people, but with Luke, when he tells you that, his friends mean something to him, and whenever there's trouble with his friends, he wants to be of help, but not so much that, he's always, even though during his beginning lessons with Yoda was a little bit sketchy and he was doubtful and everything else, but Yoda slapped him out of that real quick, as he was learning. And by the time he finally got to Return of the Jedi, he was ready, but he just needed that last piece. Was Darth Vader my father? Your father he is. Hey, I could go through the story, young man, but it's deep. But you got to know that you have to face him. And then facing him, showed when, and this is my own theory, when he finally came into contact with him, when he came out that elevator, and the guy said he was only armed with this, and he started walking. Do you not think that Luke Skywalker was piercing through the Force to try to reach his father? Anakin was already messed up in the head, because he knew that was his son, and he tried to get him into the dark side, and he would rather have died in order to go there. That probably messed his head up. And then feeling his own son's thoughts of love, of trying to bring him back. That's why that conversation between them was so deep. It should, as a matter of fact, that should have been my ultimate favorite episode. Scene. In all the 6 movies, but like I said, the Opera House, you can't beat it.
You know what that movie lacks?
But
Return of the Jedi
scene. What's that, Stig?
An Opera House-ish scene.
But that scene with Luke and Vader in that corridor, that alone told me the depths of love that he had for it, because he probably read his father's thoughts. He probably saw his mother's image inside him, because that was the reason why he went into the dark side in the first place, to save his babies, to save his wife. Right. And it all got twisted up, but he knew it wasn't something like he killed what Obi-Wan said. He killed your father and then he just ran off and blah, blah, blah. No, that was a human being in there he found. A man that was conflicted, hurt, ashamed, and angry that he didn't fulfill the promise he made to his mother in front of her grave. And that told Luke what he needed to do. come with me. And it stopped him. He said, Obi-Wan thought as you do. But he knew then I can get that man back. And he worked on it. That's the type of person that I want to associate myself with. Somebody that won't leave you in the gutter to bleed, knowing that you did wrong. I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to help you and then we're going to make you better.
You mean no one that runs away after they create chaos?
Oh, no, nobody don't run away when they create chaos or, you know, or be on an island say, go away.
Yeah. Get off my lawn.
Yeah, with a laser sword. No, that is not Luke Skywalker, ladies and gentlemen. That is not him. That will never be him.
All right. So going into the Jedi Academy trilogy, Stig is probably opposite to us about liking the trilogy. Stig doesn't.
You know what? I don't hate it.
Yeah.
You know, I just thought it was
it's okay. It's okay.
It was
it hit people in different ways. For me, it hit all the marks that I wanted to have.
Well, but Wedge fucked a chicken in it.
She was a humanoid that her hair was
still that makes her a furry.
No,
basically.
it does not. She's
the
still
galaxy is filled with wonderful people and aliens, and hey, it's Star Wars. Sometimes you gotta dip in the pool a little bit. They chickens.
The only thing that trilogy was missing was Luke walking in on Wedge and the chicken and going, pull out, Wedge. You can't do any more good back there.
Holy crap. So, okay. So now that we got past the chicken part, okay. Chicken truck,
I can't even get that out my head.
now you're tainted because of this man right here. But what I'm getting at is here's how we got
Wedge is like, look at the size of that thing.
Cluck for me, girl. Cluck for me.
Eject cables, Jansen.
It's not a real chicken. If you know what she looks like, she's a humanoid. That's what it is.
It's close enough.
Whatever. But okay, so going past that, we know that Exar Kun makes his appearance here as a Sith spirit. We know that there's a difference between Sith spirit and Force ghosts and what have you. Mm-hmm. So what did you think about his
I have something to say to Abu.
Okay, let's hear it.
Who came first, the chicken or the egg? Wrong. It was Wedge.
Booyah.
Okay.
The egg is mine. The doggone egg is mine.
I'm gonna
have. She was named Shelly.
I know Purdue probably bust in the door. Bitch, you banging Wedge?
Yeah, but Admiral Dalla though. Winter shagged Akbar. Admiral Akbar.
Okay. All right. So let's get back on track, you two. Okay. So with Exar Kun, what did you think about his
honey trap? Sorry.
Yes.
That's him. That's not me. I
know it is. I know. He's got some clucking business to
overwhelming things in my head.
It's all hard boiled into his head now.
I know, right? Finally.
Yeah. The Dark Nest trilogy is when Wedge becomes a dad.
Oh my God, he does not marry her or anything. Okay.
It's like my wife laid eggs. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna be good now.
Okay, both of you guys. All right. So with Exar Kun and him making his appearance in the trilogy, what did you think about his interaction and how he kind of took control? We also seen how, and I'm echoing again. What the hell?
I don't know.
I wasn't expecting it, to be honest with you. But at the very least, when I did see him make the appearance, I already was familiar with him in his story. Mm-hmm. So I was on board. Yeah. I was totally on board. I was thinking that he was going to materialize or possess somebody to have a big, Dukaroo fight with Luke, but that didn't happen.
Right.
So, but I did love the fact of all the things that Exar Kun was talking about in regards to his life, to the students, to try to seduce them into what his plans were. And like I said, it all connected. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate and love about the book, especially the first one. especially the first one, Jedi. Jedi get what?
Was it Jedi Apprentice?
Yes, the first one. I got all three of them. I don't know. Yeah, it's up there. But I really appreciate that. And that's one of the things why I love the EU the way that I do. Because between the authors and the writers and maybe the comic book artists or whatever, they do follow, the thread. They do their research. And it makes you, when you see characters from bygone eras coming in and giving, little tidbits of what their past stories was to fit into the new story, it makes you appreciate and be like, damn, yeah. Now you even more immersed into the lore, into the history. And that's what it's supposed to do. I mean, if it gives you a great adventure on top of that, that's the icing on the cake.
Right.
So for me, I'm into history. I'm into, past lives of great heroes and villains and stuff, that when you read a new book, they sprinkle that in there to show you that it's connected. And that's my thing.
Yeah. So how'd you feel about him putting Luke in a coma, that coma trance that he did and stuff, and how powerful he was? And
that shocked me.
Yeah, we also got to see Luke. He's learning, he's training on his own and he's training others, but we also get to see that he isn't powerful, not like how we see other characters in the new lore and stuff like that. So what do you think about all of that?
Well, like I said, it's just a journey, and being that we saw the Luke Skywalker that, in The Mandalorian, the way he was supposed to be in The Last Jedi. He had the 35 plus years or whatever. But like I said, the people in the EU know he had his training. He literally trained himself more or less, from the Book of the Jedi, from all the manuscripts that he was finding and everything else, to put pieces together of how the Jedi, the Jedi Temple was back in the day before it all came crashing down in Revenge of the Sith. So there was techniques of lightsaber combat. There's manuscripts from past masters that gives knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Holocron, that. Luke was getting all of that throughout his career. He taught himself first. Self-taught is just as good. Before Obi-Wan went into the netherworld of the Force, he probably gave him a little bit more nibbit knowledge or whatever, but it was all on him. And whatever he learned, he gladly shared with those of his students. That's why so many that all the students love him. Even the ones he had a little problem with. What was it? Kip Durran? Yeah. But even Kip Durran respected, and admired Luke Skywalker still. He didn't always agree with his philosophies and stuff like that, and he let him go his own way. But the fact is that that's still my teacher. And if he needs help, I'm gonna be Johnny on the spot. That's the type of man you want to be associated with. So when he put him into that coma, I was shocked. But that, like I said, it went a long way, knowing how powerful Exar Kun is, even after death. But then again, past Sith Lords was on it like that, especially. When there was a I can't remember what it was, but a Sith image of, what was it, Makaragnos, that stopped the infighting of two Sith. I forgot. I knew it was. Oh, jeez, I forgot the names. But he appeared and told them, "Yo, chill the fuck out. Y'all guys are two Sith Lords. We don't need this infighting." His ghost basically was telling them, "Yo, chill out. You be this, and then you be that. And then we gonna rule this thing without no problem." And that's exactly what they did. So even in death, you could still have some badass characters, and Exar Kun really was one of the best, But unfortunately, his vision, overreached his aim. Right. And the students finally came together and got Luke out of that coma. And then everything, like I said, they banded together and they just banished them.
Yeah. And then so you have not read the new Jedi Order series yet, right?
The new Jedi Order.
The series, because I know it's a 19-book series.
Yeah, I think I read maybe one or two, but I haven't read the whole thing.
Okay, so I highly recommend that, especially if you wanted like another type of villain and stuff. Which and then another one that also ties in after the trilogy, the New Jedi Order trilogy, is this one right here, and I'm beginning to read. I've read it before, but I'm rereading it. These guys you can't hardly find anymore. So if you do find them, and they might be a pretty penny.
And this is about Jason and Jaina.
It's about that generation, yeah. So it's about Jaina, Jason. Then it has Lobaka, Tenokal, that new that second generation of the New Jedi Order, basically. And
you know
what?
What? I found a YouTube channel that has the audiobooks for the whole damn series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That probably might get the audiobooks because, like I said, reading and stuff is getting a little bit harder for me to actually sit down and, you know, really go over it. I mean, bad enough I'm writing my own manifesto myself. So, you know.
Right. Okay.
But the audiobooks will do just fine. Plus, Kevin J. Anderson, I liked his, you know, his descriptions of the twins and stuff because they would, you know, featured heavily in the series too. So yeah, I'm digging it. So, but like I said, the Jedi Academy series only hit me, and like I said, no offense to you, Stig. I mean, if it's not your flavor, but for whatever reason, when I bought the first book, I was. I know I was into a lot of things because I was in the 90s. 94. Yeah, 94. I picked it up, and for whatever reason, I was at, you know, at my grandmother's house. I'm kicking back on the couch, and I'm listening to some hip hop music instrumentals. But for whatever reason, I bought this book. I put it up on the shelf. I didn't read it for a while, but for whatever reason, I went up there, I grabbed it, and I started reading. And I just couldn't stop. I literally almost fell asleep with the book in my hand. That's how much I really immersed myself in that galaxy far, far away. So creating images of the words that I was reading as scenes, you know. And at that time, I didn't have, you know, anything to show Jane and Jason Solo other than the fact that they were Han Solo and Princess Leia kids. So I kind of imagined in my head a little bit of Han's face or Leia's face in there and just went with it. But Luke Skywalker, whenever he appeared and whenever he talked, and I gave it to Kevin J. Anderson, he always makes Luke Skywalker feel like so relatable, but yet still on a different level, like Yoda, you know, right? The way he talks to his students and stuff. I absolutely love that.
Yeah,
that is something that they also nailed in the Jedi Knight games, Jedi Knight 2 and Jedi Academy.
I've heard of it. I never played it. So
awesome! You play as Kal Katarn, and then in the second one, you make your own Jedi. You're studying at Luke's Academy, and they're referencing the Jedi Academy books. Awesome. You have Corran Horn is being mentioned. You get to do missions with all kinds of new people, and you get to also visit about 14 planets, I think, in the EU. It culminates on Korriban, where you have to fight the spirit of Marco Ragnos.
Right. See, you need more Kyle Katarn in your life, and then maybe you'll get over that one bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what, Alora? You just came right out and said, hey, get rid of that bullshit.
Friendly channel.
I have you all sad. We'll watch Rogue One. He said, I need to get rid of the bullshit.
Sit in the corner and play Jedi Academy.
Yeah, get in the corner and do your homework. Play Jedi Academy now.
Damn it. Breaking the Rogue One Blu-ray in front of him.
Yeah, crack. I just slowly just crack it. And then you hear one drop and the other drop.
You know what? If they gave you the keys to the kingdom, OG, you will go to the damn vault, take the Rogue One out and burn every copy of it. And that's what bootleg is for, ladies and gentlemen. She didn't get all of it.
Okay, so let's move on from that funny little banter there. And 19K Fox says, OG, don't play.
No, she don't. Fox, no, she don't. You know, Like I said, I'm already sweating. Like, damn, man, this was supposed to be me and the EU. No, me and EU and Darth Plagueis. She just like smashing
Like-
Rogue One every time.
He's like crying after the stream. She was so mean.
He was so mean to me. Watch Rogue One anyway.
You know you are game, and you know that you like me laying it on you. So, and you set yourself up, and you make it so easy anyway. So, what can I say?
Dumb that yourself.
Yeah, you done that yourself. Yeah. So let's move on. So, what other EU character? Like, let's go not Sith this time because we already have an idea that you like almost every other Sith out there. So what other EU character fascinated you?
Ooh, that is a good one. Outside of I can't even think of it, to be honest with you.
I mean, no Mara Jade,
no Mara Jade is too easy. That's Luke Skywalker's wife.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, she's like one of those default ones, but
yeah, very default. I mean, I liked her, but I wasn't really like, oh, Mara Jade. Blah, blah, blah. No, I wasn't on it like that. Outside, because of my whole thinking is always back to the Old Republic, but their stories,
the Old Republic.
Well, like I said, there's nearly not so much in terms of Jedi's outside of
Jedi either.
Huh?
It doesn't have to be Jedi either.
Oh,
like I like Mirta Giv, which is Boba Fett's granddaughter. She's pretty cool. She's not a Jedi. She's a Mandalorian. Yeah. It could be any character other than Sith because we already went through all of that with all the Sith and stuff. So this is outside.
I can't really think of anyone in terms of the light side of the Force outside of Jedi.
It could be a smuggler. It could be whatever.
Oh, I'm still blank. I'm still blank. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry. I mean, hey, Nami Sunrider is up there, but her thing, she wasn't even supposed to be a Jedi. Her husband was a Jedi. She just took up the sword when he went down, and then one thing led to another, and then she became the Jedi master of the Order. And that was a good look, but her career, she didn't plan this. And I think I love characters like that didn't plan it, But I still didn't name Nami Sunrider as the absolute favorite. Like I said, I just haven't gravitated to more of the good guys reading, the books and stuff. Don't judge, Abu. There's so many great characters. I'm not judging.
He's telling me not to judge you because there's so many great characters. It is hard because he's like, yeah.
Okay. I gotta have a win somewhere. So thanks, Soul Assassin.
And then with Stig, I'll just throw this out there for you. So who's your favorite character? Just so that we can
in the EU?
Yes.
I don't know, maybe Cole Katarn because I grew up with the games, right? So nostalgia. I would say, even though he's in the movies a little, Wedge is always great in the EU because that's where he's flashed out. In the movies, it's just a good pilot, But in the EU, he really he becomes a character rather than just a pilot, right?
Right, just someone there to help fill in the scenes and stuff, I guess you can say. And then speaking about Wedge Antilles and stuff, I did have a great interview with Open Airlock Policy, Tim. And so I'm going to put the link here when this is published, and you guys can go check out the interview as well. And then 19K Fox 499 super chat. Thank you so much, dear. I'm so glad you're here and supporting Abu Nas and this interview. We're having so much fun here.
I'm getting roasted, Fox.
You are not getting roasted. You just know how it is with courses. Okay.
You know who got roasted?
Huh?
Soul Assassin in the chat because I spotted him calling me a Swede in a different chat.
Ooh,
I had words with him in DMs on Twitter. He's been quiet ever since.
Oh boy.
And then so he says, I am but a mere EU Padawan. However, I really enjoyed Tahiri Vela in the New Jedi Order. She has a great arc in that. I
Okay,
mean,
I gotta step it up and get to this new
Well,
Jedi.
he's
Fox
like,
has
I'm
been-
the Padawan, and he knows more than you, Abu Nas. No, I'm joking.
Fox has
You
been,
know what? It's probably
plowing
not too
through
far
them.
from the truth. So
I'm
Yeah,
just
I
Fox
just
has
stay with
been,
the bad guys all the time. So
Fox has been plowing through the EU books lately. I get DMs from him every now and again asking about, hey, which series is after this? And I'm like, oh, you're already done with that whole series?
Wow,
Okay.
that's amazing. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. There we go. And let's see here. We have Norman. Hello. Vima Sunrider was cool as well, especially as she was training by former Sith Lord Yul Queldroma.
oh, that's right. That's right. Yep. You're absolutely right, Norman. Because him and X-Star Kun was Batman and Robin, back in the days. And they did great things together. But when it came time to do the Sith thing, he wanted Droma on his team. And when he joined on this team, they was pretty much unstoppable. I like that. So his redemption, because they didn't believe that he could be redeemed after all the drama and the absolute wreckage that they did throughout the galaxy.
Yeah.
So, but the Force saw fit to bless him in the afterlife, and that was, and I think Vimy, because that was Nami's daughter, right? Right. So yeah, so that makes perfect sense.
Right.
Probably inspired her. To
All right,
do
we're gonna start winding down, and I'm echoing again. Hello. So
Echo base.
yes, we are finally on Echo Base. We made it. Let me see her.
Don't sue us. It's not copyright infringement.
Hello. Okay. So we're gonna start winding down now, but I have a last very important question. We all know how you feel about him. You have a high opinion about George Lucas. Please share your thoughts about the maker.
The maker is the one person that brought us all together over a shared love of his little story, called Star Wars. A hokey, throwback to the 40s in serials that he grew up with, that he wanted to share with the people in the 70s. And it literally revolutionized movies all the way up to today. And it was generational, where you grew up and then you took your kids to see Star Wars, and then they grew up and then they took their kids to see Star Wars. So I'm 3 generations in. I took my eldest daughter to the movies to see The Phantom Menace, and she loved it, and she became a Star Wars head ever since. And then she took her son to watch a Star Wars movie, on the DVD Blu-ray, and now he's a fan, not as hardcore as me, but when I was with my grandson, we had a nice little talk about the ships and the planets, and and I was telling them about the books that you should be reading and stuff. So yeah, generational, you ladies and gentlemen, and that in and of itself is universal. George Lucas did that. He didn't ask, for you to just pour out all the money and stuff. He didn't even think this thing was going to hit, but it hit. And the people that did believe in him caught hell, but they still supported him. And look where we at now. And it's a shame that he sold his company to the most corporate entity of all time. But even he regrets that decision, because his characters, his storylines, everything that he told Kathleen Kennedy to use, which she didn't. Now everything is upside down, inside out. And the people that they're catering to, they ain't gonna be with this thing 30 or 40 years down the line.
Yeah.
It's us.
It's not timeless. It's not timeless anymore. And you're a great example on how this is timeless, because you didn't need any new content to really take your kids and the grandkids out to watch No, it's always there.
It
And
was
we
always
always begin with the OT or the PT, whichever, whichever order you like to do, because there's so many people say that you go this order, you go that order, whatever. It's just, personal choice. And then
but it's nice that when somebody told what was that order, because they mixed it up, and
I don't know what it's called anymore. I just like randomly.
But I swear, people was like, "Wow!" When you looked at it in that order, it was even more interesting.
Right.
But you can go either way, regardless.
Right. Yeah, and so that's just proof that you don't need any new content to get the future generations interested in Star Wars, because it's timeless, it's classic.
Yeah.
And so that's what this Talking E.U. is about. This is, sharing the experience that I interview. When I interview the interviewee, and today, we have Abu Nas here, and thank you so much for coming and stepping in.
No, thank you.
And sharing your experience with us.
I have something to mention.
Okay.
I'm half a world away from you guys, and you guys are a country away, right?
Right.
And all three of us are a different race, you know? You want to know when all our lives actually changed for the better? Okay. It's when we learn to read. Isn't that
right?
Strange to think about?
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what it goes back to, all of it, when we learn to read. So if you think about it, the person who taught you how to read, you can never fully thank that person.
Right.
No, you're right.
Because that opened all your doors. And it's the same all over the planet.
Right.
Yeah. Just like George Lucas opened up the doors when he made, Star Wars. That's another reason why
he
taught us to so hard for the EU and his vision. That's why I'm not. I mean, even though, like I said, I got the Luke moment, and it was the greatest thing I wanted to see, and I was happy. But I knew going forward that nothing that Disney does is ever going to be on the level of how George Lucas would have done it. So I've already assigned myself to say, whatever they do, I just want to watch to see how much they mess up. And I want to point that out, that if you would have stayed with the maker, everything would have been good. But since you want to be slick, and you want to act like you know everything, and then you got everything under control, and we're bringing Star Wars back. You're not bringing Star Wars back. None of it. At first I thought it was a possibility, but because all roads leads to the ST, you're not bringing nothing back. You're trying to explain the BS that went down in those 3 movies, which you didn't have no plans to doing. So anybody that makes, videos or has live streams or anything else to that matter, they keep telling us that Star Wars has a chance of coming back. I thought that it did, but it's not, because because everything that they're doing is trying to explain everything in those 3 movies that they spent buku millions of dollars, and nobody gave a fuck about it. So this is where they want to go. So we might as well just throw up our hands and say, even with the Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, I said in my live stream, this is where my head is at. I love Ewan McGregor and I love Hayden Christensen. A part of me wants to see them together, even though I know the damn show is going to be fucked over with inconsistencies and everything else. I want to see them together because that's a trigger. So that brings me back to the prequels. I love Ahsoka in the Clone Wars, but the problem is she wasn't supposed to live past Revenge of the Sith. So guess what? Since Filoni made it her girl and created the World Beyond Worlds with the cheat code to get her all the way now into the OT, which the OT didn't mention them in the goddamn movies, then you know where my head is at. So I'm not going to co-sign to Disney's nonsense just because they make a couple of good episodes that you say, oh, okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, we can say it's pretty good, but guess what? It's not what the canon really is.
Right.
So you know what it comes down to?
Yeah.
One simple thing. The heart of Star Wars is George Lucas. They removed the heart of Star Wars, which is why the new Star Wars have no heart.
No heart whatsoever.
It's a zombie.
If I said it, I said in my live stream, if George Lucas was a part of this Obi-Wan show, then I could say okay, and now I could relax because he ain't gonna have them, contradict his own movies behind. But like I said, I heard it was a rumor. It's probably not true, but whatever. Mm-hmm. We're gonna watch things as responsible YouTubers, and we're gonna give our insight. So the people that like this stuff better hang on to your hats because it's gonna get ugly. You know how our mouths are, and we're not gonna be holding back. So if you want to make videos, you want to make live streams, you want to talk about EU elitists and this, that, whatever, go right ahead because it's not going to matter. You don't have enough people on your team to stop the people on my team. We are going to shove this thing down your throat because if I can't have what I want, I'm going to make sure you're going to suffer behind me too. So you're not going to enjoy Disney Star Wars. Exactly. You're not going to enjoy Disney Star Wars. I can't watch it. No, you can watch it, but you're going to have me right there saying, that's not George Lucas' work. Here's George Lucas' work. Read that and see how they bit off of him. But you like Rogue One. Shut the fuck up. That's the only pass I give. But when you look at Disney stuff, this is where I'm coming from. Simple as that. You don't like it, you're going to have to deal with it. You know, you want to get funky. Like I said, please mention my name when you're mad and you want to say something about me. Please say my name. Don't go doing under any other funky shit or doxing people and this, that, whatever. Say my name. You know, don't do the lowest common denominator to do something because somebody don't agree with your way of thinking. Mm-hmm. And you want to dox somebody, putting people's business out there in the ether. How would you like if somebody did that to you?
Right.
Your banking records or stuff like that in a live stream. You wouldn't like that. Nobody would. You know, people that I actually have love and respect for. Now I'm losing that because you do the one thing that the haters of the fandom menace back in the days wants to do with us because they couldn't stand the fact that we was telling the truth.
Right.
You know, but the truth is but the truth is relative. Right. My people, the people that I stand with, is going to always love George Lucas's movies, love his work, love the EU that he signed off on, and that's the way it's going to be. But we have to be respectful on our end too. Hey, I'm giving you the knowledge. I'm giving you this. But if you like the Disney flavor, God bless you, man. I'm jealous. I wish I could have loved that thing too. And that's for real. So leave this live stream with the knowledge that I'm giving to you that you have every right to voice your opinion on every level. Just don't do no down low, dirty, disgusting shit like doxing people or trying to put bad jujus in their name just because y'all have differences of opinion and and now it's getting personal. We need to even on our end just slow down the rhetoric already, all right? Because we already know Kathleen Kennedy's not leaving. You ain't got to make 100 billion and one jokes about it. We get it. Now let's move on and put certain things together that when we see X, Y, and Z, we going to give you A, B, and C. So you do the math. I ain't got time. I got to work. I got things I got to do. I got moves I got to make. So y'all smart adults. Y'all not children. And we ain't going to treat you like children. You know, like I did back in the days. I got a different theology now. Let the people live their lives with what they love. But as long as George Lucas is alive, and I bet you your bottom dollar, God forbid if he passes away, and you're going to see all these phonies, these suckers, and these chumps talking about, oh, how he was so great and this, that, whatever. You pay that bullshit no mind. We going to hold the torch. We going to carry his legacy to the future for our grandkids and our great-grandkids, because somebody got to do it.
Yeah, and Stig, what was you going to say? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying that, doxing happens every day, especially today.
Now, that's disgusting, but I've said my piece on that.
All right, so now let's go ahead and conclude this. Thank you guys, everybody, for coming. And Abu Nas, just let us know where we can find you for this coming week or so.
The only thing here is the Dark Council Wednesday night on my channel. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming back to the Rehabilitation Center, folks. So get your nerves ready, because it's gonna be a bomb burner. We're gonna bring the laughs, we're gonna bring the music, we're gonna bring Star Wars and other things of interest, or we may just shoot the breeze for 2 hours and just kick back and have a ball. So hopefully you'll come by, have a ball, and outside of that, I got nothing else going other than work. See how happy I know. See how happy I am.
Yeah, work. That's why I said that. All right, Stig, and go ahead and let us know where you could be found.
Oh, everyone knows where I can be found now. No, just kidding. I'll be on your channel on Thursday.
Right.
If I'm awake, I'm still recovering from surgery, so I sleep a lot. On Fridays, I'm on Mara's channel, Jade Shadow,
right,
for the cringe factor. And on Saturdays, I am. What?
You hanging out with my VP?
Yeah, she's awesome. Don't tell her I said that, though. And on Saturdays, I'm on with Miss Martin Muses. We're talking about the Lord of the Rings books, doing like chapter by chapter, with the lovely Lady Toriel is there, Lady Gravemaster, and Rennie. So it's me and a bunch of hot women.
Yep. Stig seems to surround himself with a lot of women, hot women. So
it's my aftershave, though.
Yeah, I guess so. And it has to be your accent too, your Obi-Wan Kenobi, charm.
You know what? Only American women seems to think I sound like Kenobi.
Yeah.
You never hear the Aussies or anyone say it.
Well, if you heard,
we Americans love our Obi-Wan Kenobi, so
right.
it goes with the flow.
Yeah. Yep. And as for me, of course, I do have, Coffee Chat Thursday, every Thursday. I'm currently in the process of booking someone else for Talking E.U. because I like to have 2 of them per month. So stay tuned for that. And Wednesday, I'm hosting Babe de Menace here on my channel. So come and drop in, and hang out with us ladies for some fun.
I'm going to try my best, because I will be out of the house at that time, but I will try my best. If I can just sneak in the chat a little bit, I will do that.
Yes, exactly. And then anything else, I will let you know. And of course, channel members and those who want to become a member of the channel, every time I have a live stream and you come in and support, participate, all of that during the time frame, your name will be entered to win a copy of The Son of Kifu. So thank you guys for coming in, and I shall talk to you guys later, and may the force be with you.
Announcement for my channel, O.G.Starwars. Channel members have a chance to win a copy of Son of Kifu starting now in November through January, just by coming on and supporting live streams. Your name will be entered to win a copy of this wonderful painting. So I encourage you, channel members, to come and support, as this is a way of giving back to you. If you are not a channel member, then what are you waiting for? Our last channel member, Miss Martin Muses, is the one who won Mistress of Rat Attack. Congratulations. And I shall chat with you guys later. See you in the live streams. Have a good day.